Painting, lining and colour, getting it right. Colour matching and using the correct type of paint. During the renovation of my large showman's engine, I've needed to repair quite a lot of the paintwork, and now I need to paint the new motion guards that I've made and paint the two very long side rails on the canopy, after which I will have them sign written. I use HMG paints satin black and I find it to be very good paint, so I ordered 6 tins of this L.M.S Crimson Lake gloss paint from HMG paints. It was a bit of a bad omen because the paint took quite a while to arrive, but finally it arrived. I gave the can a really good shake for several minutes to mix the paint, and then I sprayed underneath this footstep, and I'm thinking to myself, there's something wrong here, this does not look like Crimson Lake. Maybe it's an optical illusion, so I sprayed the inside of one of the motion guards with it. And no, it's still not looking much like the Crimson Lake on the rest of the engine. The paint I've used on the rest of the engine is Phoenix Precision Paints L.M.S Crimson Lake, and for some weeks now I've been touching in the paintwork on the traction engine using Phoenix Precision Paints. I found from experience that even though the traction engine was made in 1995, the current batches of Phoenix Precision Paints L.M.S Crimson Lake match perfectly. Here's a shot of the paint drying. I'm going into the inner part of the workshop, and no, the paint is not changing colour. One of the first items I sprayed using the HMG paint was this, the first of the motion guards where I got the bend wrong. I've rubbed it down and now I'm painting it with an aerosol which is full of Phoenix Precision Paints L.M.S Crimson Lake. I asked a good friend of mine if he'd be so kind to go up to Blackgates Engineering and buy 2 tins of L.M.S Red from Phoenix Precision Paints and take them to a local paint company and have the contents of the tins of paint transferred into aerosol cans. He did this and to my surprise arrived at my workshop later on in the day. Now you can see the difference. Spot the one that isn't L.M.S Red. To be honest, this paint that I got from HMG Paints is more like LBS CR Brown. So what I did was I overcoated it using the Phoenix Precision Paints, so now at least it's the right colour. I was concerned there would be some reaction with the paint, but so far so good. When I first received the paint from HMG Paint and realised that it was the wrong colour, I gave them a phone call. And despite being told, oh, we'll get someone to ring you back, which didn't happen, I still have the same problem. I mean, just look at this. Here is the panel that I painted with HMG Paints L.M.S Red. Here's a direct comparison. The one that I'm pointing at is the one that's been painted with the HMG Paints version of L.M.S, well, whatever it's called, Crimson Lake Brown. And the panel at the top of the picture has just been painted, in fact it's still wet, using the aerosol version of Phoenix Precision Paints L.M.S Crimson Lake. At this point I made one more call to HMG Paints. I'd already called them 5 times about the problem previously. And although I don't do it very often, this time I mentioned my YouTube channel. And can you believe it, within 10 minutes I did get a phone call back. And I spoke to a gentleman by the name of Mr. Dyson. He was very helpful. He asked me for the batch numbers, which I gave him, and as you can see, they're printed on the can quite clearly. During this conversation with Mr. Dyson, he did mention that if I was repairing paint on a very old item, it could be a different colour owing to the age of the existing paint. A good point, but unfortunately that is not applicable, because a modern can of Phoenix Precision Paints is exactly the same colour as the paint put on this traction engine in 1995. And once again you can clearly see the difference. I don't know what this sort of brown colour's from, but it bears no resemblance whatsoever to the colour of this, which is a tin of Phoenix Precision Paints that's been transferred into an aerosol can by a company in West Yorkshire called Autopaint Northern. The contact details are on their tin. I've used this company a lot over the years and they are really top class. And one more time, look at the difference in colour on the 2 panels. Spot the one that isn't L.M.S Crimson Lake. The clue is it's not the one I'm holding. Before overcoating the test piece, I rubbed it down far too early, so the solvent in the new paint attacked the paint underneath. In this clip, using a piece of Scotch-Brite and some cellulose thinners, I'm removing all of the paint and taking it back to bare metal. I'm going to repaint this brass, first of all by using Autopaint Northern's version of etching primer, which is very good indeed, and actually sticks to the metal. That's exactly what I'm doing on screen at the moment. Maybe I'm applying slightly too much etch primer. Once this has dried, I will rub it down with a piece of fine wet to dry sandpaper and overcoat it with some red oxide primer, followed by the aerosol version of Phoenix Precision Paints L.M.S. Crimson Lake. It's not all bad news though. I'm hoping to get a communication back from Mr. Dyson at some stage, but for the moment I'll use the other 5.5 cans of the wrong colour to paint my picnic table outside the workshop. At least then it won't be wasted. After painting the two inner panels using Phoenix Precision Paints L.M.S. Red, they are now exactly the same colour as the paint on the rest of the engine. And what is that paint? It's Phoenix Precision Paints L.M.S. Crimson Lake Gloss. That's enough about mismatched paint. Now to get on with something more interesting. I bought some of this stuff. It's called J-tape striping tape. This allows you to stick on one piece of tape and then peel off the parts that you want to stripe. First of all, you stick the tape onto the part that you want to line. You make sure that it is fully pressed down and firmly stuck to the part that you want to line. This is not a good part to try and line because there are plenty of bristles stuck to the paint underneath. And where there's a bristle, the lining tape isn't going to stick. It doesn't matter for this though, it's just a demonstration. And as you can see, I did get a problem. This is the paint I'm using. I bought a tin of this also. It's called Sign Painter's One Shot. Not only is this One Shot stuff very good quality paint, it's also the correct colour, and has plenty of the colour pigment in it. The first thing to do though is to thoroughly stir it. This has been stood for a while and needed a really good stir. The paint finish on this small drill case is quite good. I've used it to test lining before. I stuck the piece of tape to it, pressed it down, and removed 3 of the small lengths of tape. After painting it yellow, I removed the tape and here we have 3 yellow lines. Normally I wouldn't remove the masking tape as quickly as this because the paint's still wet. But it is a good idea to remove masking tape when the paint is tacky and not when it's fully dry. This tin has steam oil in it and I'm going to put a broad line on it to see what it looks like. When I carry out the lining on the motion guard plates, I'm going to need a line like this and 2 thinner yellow lines either side of this colour, just like on the rest of the traction engine. Once I remove the tape, here is the thick line. I'll be doing this for real on the motion guard side plates very soon. For now though, that's it for this episode. I'd just like to say, stay safe, stay well, thanks for watching and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.